There we go. All right. Well, for the people that are watching this Zoom recording, essentially what
That's me. All right.
So essentially what we just discussed was Bob was on here, our faculty advisor, just talking about the transition from MT10 to Blu-ray television, how that went down. If you guys have any questions on that, you can just email me or ask any of the officers, and we will be glad to tell you that. But we're starting to get into, and we kind of just introduced the officers. But other than that, we are getting into our shows. So the first one that we were introducing was the Wave. So as I said, Wave is a like musical performance / artist, up and coming artist interview, and it's an extremely fun show to work on. I will tell you, a majority of these MT10 shows, maybe 10 out. Fun of it. The show itself, it's like we do a musical performance and then like an interview with the artist, and then we would move on to a news segment of like what's happening in music right now. And it's a very fun environment. Everybody there is super positive. You get to listen to you essentially get to listen to a free concert of the band performing a song multiple times for the cameras to film. It's a really cool show to be creative on camera. Some of the other shows that we've done, now we're going to pitch new shows today, so it might change. But before, you would have just like with news, you would set up a camera and that's pretty much it. But with the Wave, it gives you the chance to actually like frame up shots and, oh, I can do this rack out of focus with the music. You get to be creative on the show and not just set up a camera and make sure that it stays where it's supposed to be. That's a very, very brief rundown of the Wave. If you really want to see what it looks like, I very much encourage you to look up the Wave on YouTube. You might have to search the word MTSU with it to get a result. But all of those shows were just great and super fun. Other than that, I think it's up to Dave now to start pitching some new show ideas. Y'all might have to mute that TV though to talk.
All right, you should be done. Can you
Dakota,
hear
can you
us?
hear us? Not if you can hear us. Not if you can hear me. What?
You can hear.
You can hear? All right. All right, everybody. Hello and welcome. Who's here for the very first time? All right, fantastic. Now I have my name's Dave Strip. I'm going to be the contact coordinator, not necessarily.
Hey, Bill, Dave.
Now, I need for everybody to listen because I want everybody in here to be able to create content. Now, we have limitations, of course. There are only 3 studios. There's only so much time in those studios. There's only so many people to crew those. But I don't want your experience here to be like it has been maybe in the past, where last year I came in, I was like, hey, I got like 10 ideas for shows. And they're like, yeah, okay, we'll get to them. And you have 50 people with 10 ideas for shows, and those people show up and then they don't get their shows done, and then everybody kind of just trickles away. That's not what we want to encourage here. How many people are single cam film students in the film track here? All right, there's work for you because we've got single cam shows that we can do. All right, I'm also one of those people that's running the channel side of things, so we're going to need content over there. The thing is, we want to do everything as high quality as possible. We don't want it to look like college productions. We want it to look like what we are capable of doing, which is all these BRTV people, they also produce the football games and other sports that go on ESPN. So it has to hit a high standard. So we're raising the standards here. We want everybody to do the shows as well as possible. Now, raise your hand if you have an idea for a show. Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. Now, see, with the Wave, we have one great show that is a template for all these shows. You know, we've been pretty prolific in the past. I mean, when I came in, we had 4 or 5 different shows. That dwindled down to now about 2. We have the Wave, the news, and that's about it. So what we want to do is create shows almost like a little incubator. Everybody have an idea, or everybody who has an idea, write that idea down. If you are a podcaster, if you've ever messed around with interviews, I mean, everybody got into this for a reason. You want to create content, right? So let's go ahead and start creating that content. And if you don't have ideas for shows yet, these are just some of the things that have been pitched to me. Stand-up open mics. Somebody wanted to do a multicam thing over at the Burl Bar and Grill. I don't know if they still do that open mic, but that would be fabulous. If the content's right there, we can make it good. We can edit it. Somebody said church services. Sports that we haven't done. Sports interviews we haven't done. Professor guest lectures. Single cam theater. Single cam 2 theater. We even thought about making it like a James Lipton thing where maybe Ed Bowen comes out and it's just like, well, these are my single cam 2 students. And he stands up and hosts it in front of the thing like ridiculousness. Local Film Festival Friday, campus tours, music shows, game shows. Some of you have already been in the classes that produce game shows. Well, we want to come up with new game shows, or we can kind of rip off some of the old ones and rename them if you just want the experience of doing one. Talk shows. We used to have a rule against talk shows. Well, what's wrong with doing a talk show? They're cheap to produce. We can probably get one, if it's good enough, we can probably get it produced here in the studio, and we can get some content on the MT10 channel or whatever it ends up being named sooner than later. Cooking shows. I was talking to Professor Pittard today. He said one of the most popular shows that we've ever had in the history of the 33 years of the old MT10 was an exercise show. Sounds a little creepy. Why? He was like, it's on in every firehouse in Murfreesboro. Okay, well, still, that's eyeballs. So if you're an exercise science major and you want to do that, fantastic. Children's shows, learning shows, sketch comedy shows. Is anybody here a comedian? You? Oh, she reluctantly raises it. It's like, he's nailed it.
I don't want to be the one jackass, you know?
Well, maybe that's the name of the show, the one jackass. Everybody, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no to any idea. If you come to me with an idea, if you have an idea, which I hope you do, since you're here, you're content creators, you should. Write down your idea, come to me, and we'll help develop it. Now, every idea isn't necessarily going to make it to air, but the more ideas you come to me with, the more likely you are to get something on the air. You hear? All right, fantastic. Now, raise your hand if you have an idea for a show. This is the point where everybody's hands should go up. All right. Well, at the end of this, we're going to show you an email to where you can get in touch with us. If you have content to pitch it my way, and let's get some shows on the air. How about it? All right, guys. Welcome, and thank you for your interest, your participation. Oh, by the way, if you don't have, Emily's going to touch on this, but if it's kind of making you nervous to come up with your own show, that's not a requirement. We need all kinds of people here. So all levels of involvement are encouraged and invited. So thank you, and nice meeting you all.
Yeah.
Well, now we're gonna get it over to Justin, our engineer in charge. He was gonna talk about the positions that we have to offer and how crewing is going to work out.
Okay. I hate this TV because of that. So we can ignore it. I don't know how to work on that.
Noob.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is So I'm Justin. I'm the engineer in charge. That means I'm the nerd. My laptop's blocking the center. Anyways, so I'm the nerd. I do all the technical stuff, anything patching wise. I know most of the equipment in there. So if there's ever a problem on the show, usually I'm the one that has to go fix it. Like I was trying to fix the wall. I don't know why it's cut off from the top, but I didn't want to blast you guys with light, so I just left it. But so I'm going to talk about some of the positions. You know, he was talking about creating content for the show. Well, you only need 1 or 2 producers for a show. You know, someone to come up with the idea, but you need a whole crew of 20 people to do the show. So there's much more than just being on the camera, being on camera, on a camera, or making the show. So obviously in here we have 4 cameras. We have 3 cameras on tripods and 1 jib. We have the talent. We have stage hands basically. They're the communication between the talent and the director. We have person on lighting. We have a teleprompter. Or we used to do news. I'm not sure if we are doing news anymore, but you can see teleprompter. We need someone to run that. What else is there? Inside the control room, we have a person that does graphics. We have a director. You know, he's only calling the shots on the show, what cameras to take. We have a technical director, which is, you've probably seen it in some of these, that big long board with all the shiny light buttons. Then we have obviously producer of a show. We also have assistant directors, assistant producers. We have need someone to run playback or tape, as we call it. You know, if we're doing a show and then it goes to a pre-produced package, a video that plays on air, we need someone for that. If you have a really good eye with color, I'm not good with color because I'm colorblind, so I don't do this position, but we have shading. So this is you would white balance the camera, color correct the camera, iris up and down the camera. We have a control that does all that in the studio. And then there's obviously audio. So there's 1 person that's actually mixing, but we could have, depending on the show, we have 2 or 3 people that are assisting the 1 main audio guy, and them setting up lights or graph. And so there's all sorts of multitudes of positions, and depending on the show, there might be more or less than what I just listed. Not every show is going to use every position, and some shows are going to use more than what I just listed, more than what we have. So there's always a need for people that are not on camera, camera operators, or producing the show. So just want to get that in your mind that if you're thinking like, man, there's only going to be 10 shows, how am I going to fit in? We need tons of people to do 1 show. For football this weekend, this is different than in here, but football this weekend, we had a crew of 29 people. We only had 7 cameras, so that kind of puts in perspective. There's so much more behind the scenes that most people don't think of. So we need all the help we can get. I think that's all I got. Okay.
Keep going, Justin.
So the torch has been handed back to me. So yeah. So y'all heard all the positions, the pitch from Dave, which you can tell he's been rehearsing that for a while now because he perfectly executed that. The only other thing that I think that we had on the docket that we need to discuss is with Emily, talking about how we crew shows and talk about that process. Is that correct, Emily? I see you in the, yes. Okay. The big thumbs up of approval. So I guess I will hand it back off to her for that now.
Okay. All right, we're good. All right, so hello everyone. I'm production manager. So I'm the one you pretty much want to contact if you have like any questions or concerns about anything at all. I'm your person to reach out to. I will respond pretty quickly and things like that. So most of you all, I believe, okay, it is unmuted. Most of you all have filled out the Blue Raider application that was at the Media College Fair last week. So there were questions about like what positions you were interested in, what you wanted to do. So we have all that on file, and we are going to, once we have shows starting to come up, we're going to try our very best to make sure we put you in a position that you want to do. Granted, this is such a huge group now, it may be a little bit more complicated to get everyone the position they want. Don't be afraid to embrace a position you didn't want to do. Last semester, I put as an audio person for the Wave, and I had no desire to do audio whatsoever.
And you had a great teacher.
Sure, we'll say that. No, Jonathan is great, but I did not want to do audio at all, but I actually learned something from it. So if you get put into a position you necessarily do not want to do, give it a shot. You will learn something from it, I promise you. And it may turn out to be fun. You may want to pursue something like that. I mean, Jonathan, hey, he's a video and film major and he's doing a lot of audio stuff. So unless you really, really, really do not want to do the position we end up putting you in, please contact me and I will try and figure out a way to make you happy and the rest of the crew happy. So if you all are new, the people who haven't filled out a Blue application, I do have a QR code that you can come and scan right after this meeting. So you can fill out an application and just have your information with us on file. And Dakota, I will request you put that in the Zoom chat as well for people who are new. And
Application.
all I have to say at the top of my head, welcome to Blue Raider Student Television. We are excited for you to be here and to see what all we can create this semester. So I guess I will toss it back to Dakota for final words.
I see. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, okay. So yeah, I am very, very excited for whoa, I can hear myself. Emily, your mic is still on next to the TV.
Right.
All right. So I am very excited for this semester. I think we were all kind of a little nervous of like, we were having this meeting and we're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if anybody's going to show up. But seeing this crowd is incredible. I am so excited that so many of you are wanting to get into these shows. And another thing that wasn't really touched on with some of the other people is, while like, let's just say the Wave ends up having 20 people, don't get discouraged if you're not one of those original 20 people, because more than likely, not everybody can do every single day. And it's probably a good thing that everybody doesn't do every single day, because that's how you get burned out. Or I got to study for a test, all of this stuff. So it's not like it's a, oh man, I didn't get put on a show, now what do I do? It's a, like, I want to be a part of it. I may not do it now, but I want to do it in the future. Maybe not this show, but next week I want to do it. So I don't want it just to be the same couple people doing everything all the time. I want it to be a very, very fluid. Everybody gets to do stuff if you want to work on the show. Yeah, I'm just very ecstatic that there are so many of you and that y'all are all so excited to do stuff for Blue Raider Television. I think it's going to be a great semester. People might even argue that it might be the best semester we've ever had, because of all of this rebranding, all of that stuff. Just a couple housekeeping things. All of the members will be charged like a $10 membership due. I mean, this is pretty typical for student organizations, but I will let you know that $10 due will go towards a new like golf polo shirt. That's another reason why we needed you all to fill out that application, is because we're going to be getting all new shirts with that rebranding, and hopefully some baseball hats for anybody that would like it. And feel free to wear it whenever you want to. You don't have to wear it just on a shoot. If you want to advertise it on campus, go right on ahead. Just know that you're not just paying that and it's being absorbed or anything like that. You're actually getting some stuff with it. So a shirt and a hat. Other than that, I think that's about it. You guys can probably tell we're not like a normal organization. We don't have standard times that's weekly, all of this stuff. It'll just be shows. So this show will film on this day, this show will film on that day. Some shows might be a one-off that you film one show and that's it. It's just a single episode series. So yeah, it's just going to be very fluid, but I will let you know, even though it does have some long hours sometimes, it's extremely fun. Some of my best moments of college so far have been in MT10 and the friendships that I've made from that. So be very excited that you're becoming a part of that. Other than that, I think that's about all I have to say. And we're sitting right at 48 minutes, so we're on time. Do you guys in the studio have anything else to add? Is that a no? I can't tell what it's me. I feel like a fly on the wall. Whoa. Picture. I don't know what that finger. Oh, up in the corner. Yeah, okay. Wow, at least you could make me full screen.
Hey guys, the meeting's over.
So you're free to go.